Now to welcome Madeline Tynan to the stage. Madeline will be joined by Emad El-Omar, the Professor of Medicine at the St George and Sutherland Clinical School, UNSW Australia, the Director of Microbiome Research Centre at St George Hospital. Would you please welcome Antoine Oijen, Distinguished Professor, ARC Laureate, Fellow and Director, Molecular Horizon University of Wollongong. Associate Professor Peter Gonski is a Senior Staff Specialist Geriatrician and the Director at Southcare, Department of Aged and Extended Care, Sutherland Hospital and Community. Ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to the Honourable Mark Speakman, MP for Cronulla, Attorney General, New South Wales. Andrew Scipione, AO, APM, was a Commissioner of the New South Wales Police Force in Australia and a friend of Michael and the Tynan family. Madeline is going to chair a short discussion with our special guests.
I've got the most fantastic people in the room. First of all, welcome everyone. This is an amazing night and I'd like to thank my team for really putting all of this together. But really, the people up here are just the reason that we do it. I'd actually like to start with our newest member to our team that we're actually raising money for, which is Wollongong University. Antoine, welcome. Thank you very much for being involved. This is a collaboration of why we do everything and why we spend so much time giving back to the community. What are you doing down at Wollongong that is amazing? You're blowing my mind, so I'm going to let you talk about it.
Well, first of all, thank you for having us up here. What we're doing is bringing the best and brightest people together. I think there's only one way to get rid of the horrible diseases that unfortunately we see around us, is to bring the best people together. And I think especially the business owners here tonight will realize that it's really all about the people. So what we're doing in Wollongong is we're bringing together biologists, chemists, with the engineers, the clinicians from the hospital, the community GPs, to really understand how do diseases work and what can we do to battle with them.
You're doing a lot of work with cancer, which is very close to our heart as a family. Where are you going with that and what steps have you taken to move forward?
So what we're doing in Wollongong, the new institute we're setting up, Molecular Horizons, is really trying to understand at a molecular and cellular level what cancer is all about. And there's two things we're doing. We're trying to understand how cancer works so we can develop new therapies and new drugs, but also, and I think this is important, try to detect the disease well before it can do harm. And I think, for example, when you think about Michael Tynan, to be able potentially to detect cancer well before it gets into a stage where it becomes too big of a problem, we're developing together with those engineers and the life scientists, developing the imaging and detection technology to make that happen. And that's something I'm personally very excited about.
Yeah, people will probably be wondering why we are actually in the Illawarra and working with Wollongong University. It's all to the fact of Carnio, who is actually one of my favourite people from Wollongong University. Carnio has been on our journey since the beginning, but we actually made friends through our association with St George Illawarra Dragons and people like Andrew Lancaster from Win Television. All of these people introduced us to Wollongong University, and it's been a journey that we've been on. And our business, we decided to take down to the Illawarra, and that's where we see our future going, is the Illawarra, and we want to give back to the Illawarra. So this is why we've introduced Wollongong University, and they've got on board and run with us as much as we're running. So I'd just like to thank you very much for doing that. Emad, back to you. I've been sitting on the board at SSMRF for 10 years. That's been an amazing journey. Normally we have a multitude of doctors with amazing skills, but we've agreed on one thing, which is gut health. Now, anyone that doesn't know this, I will let it over to Emad to explain what we're doing.
Thank you, Madeline, and what a wonderful occasion, and thank you everyone for supporting this wonderful gala dinner. Madeline, you've done a fantastic job. As you said, we wanted to have a research theme that would unify everybody, would actually get everyone working together, including Wollongong University, and Antoine and I have met to discuss this. We've been obviously working with Peter, and gut health is emerging as a new frontier in medicine. Everybody will be aware of this thing called the microbiome, or the bugs in your gut that seem to have an impact on your health, whether it's healthy living, healthy aging, and obviously some diseases as well. So we've set up this microbiome research centre at St. George, but it's a very collaborative centre. It tries to put every expertise around to work together towards solving clinical problems. And we have all the themes that cut across the health portfolio of the Australian nation. Cancer, mental health, pregnancy and women's health and so forth. So every disease that we care about will be represented there, and we'll be using all our skills together as clinicians and basic scientists to try and answer those questions and bring back a reduction in the disease burden within our society.
I think you're actually being a little bit on the soft side as far as what you brought to the foundation. Can I just say, Dr. Peter Gonski and Emad have both given up their time to come to our committee meetings after very, very long days, and I'd like to thank them for that. Peter, we've been on this board for a long time and we've seen it grow and diversify. Can you just give a bit of background on the way that you are actually working with the elderly?
So a lot of my research is related directly to patient care and trying to improve their quality of life. We like to extend people's lives only if they have quality of life. So my research is based on two aspects. One is to try and improve the way that people can basically move through the health system. So many of you will realise that it's basically can be an absolute difficulty to go from one doctor to another. In fact, a lot of my patients' social life is spending all day, every day, going to different doctors. So we're trying to make their lives much easier by actually improving the journey. So we've had a number of models of care that we've introduced to try and make life much easier. We've been very successful in making it easier for people with skin cancer, people who live in aged care facilities, and also now people who are in the community who acutely deteriorate, and we can actually make their lives much easier by actually going to them rather than them coming to us. The other aspect of the research that we've been doing is trying to give treatments which enhance their lives. So osteoporosis is a very, very common condition. Breaking the back, that's the vertebrae in the back, is very, very common. It can be incredibly painful, and we've just done a study where we've been able to show that injection of cement into certain fractures markedly reduce pain, and if it markedly reduces pain, then it markedly improves function and then quality of life. We've done a lot of other studies as well, including we've been looking at trying to improve the quality of life for people with severe lung disease, and one of my collaborators, in fact the senior collaborator, is Roger Engel, who's on table 23 if anyone wants to come and talk to us later. We've shown that if you do more than just physiotherapy and take medication, you can actually improve people's quality of life for their breathing. Finally, we're just embarking on medical cannabis for the treatment of severe behavioural disturbance in people who have dementia, and I think that's going to be a real interesting study. I don't have any on me at the moment, so please don't come and get some.
Thanks, Pete. I'll meet you after. I would actually like to speak to Mark now, and I really appreciate you being here today. Mark actually met us on the walk as well too, and has not missed a walk. So those people out there that say they can't walk, this man here came and joined us on the walk. It's absolutely amazing. He also made that beautiful walk in his first portfolio, completely redid the track. So if anyone has been on that beautiful track along the coast, Mark was actually responsible for that. Mark, why would you get involved in something like this? I know you live and work in Cronulla and you went to school at Caringbah High with my husband. It's your birthday next week. Happy birthday. But what drawed you drew you, to getting involved in this?
Thanks, Madeline. Well, look, there's a few reasons. One is to honour the memory of your father, Michael. I knew Michael for about 35 years. He was a giant of the Shire, a giant of local civic life in the Shire, philanthropic and charitable life, particularly in health. I participated for 3 years in the walk because I want to see the wonderful coast track. We've got the second oldest national park on our doorstep in the El-Omar and in the Sutherland Shire, and I don't think everyone out there just realises what a gem we have right on our doorstep. And the third reason, of course, is to raise money and raise the profile of medical research. We are incredibly blessed that we have people like this. They're not in the inner city, they're not in the UK or the US or somewhere else, they're right on our doorstep doing world-leading medical research.
And I thank you for that, because I know just how busy you are. Now, Andrew, you've got the funny stories about Dad. Anyone that knows anything knows that my dad would have loved to have been a policeman, mainly to get him out of speeding fines. Am I true?
Well, I'm not sure. Look, he was such a character, but I guess just before I go on to that, two things. Isn't she doing an outstanding job here? Well done. They're pulling right up the back. Well done.
Watch out, big television.
Yeah, move over, Peter Overton. Can I just reflect on what you said? I knew a lot about your dad, and our first meeting, in fact, come about because of his heart for community. Michael reached out to me when I wasn't a Commissioner of Police. In fact, I was a Deputy Commissioner of Police not long after the 2005 riots in Cronulla. He had a heart for community. He wanted to try and work with us to make sure that we could get it right. We could make life better for people. Not only in the Shire but in the western suburbs on the back of what was a very unfortunate incident. And from that point on, I knew this man's heart. I knew that he had a heart for community. I knew that he lived for his family. I could tell that. But that he wanted to really contribute and put back in. And so on his journey with us, we did a whole range of things. He came to the police. In fact, he became almost an honorary police officer on a program that I put together. He was one of the first business leaders that was put on that program, and he did everything. Part of that involved him getting into a police car and onto a skid pan and onto the driving track and in Goulburn. And I've got to tell you, he really knew which way to point that car. He was probably a little bit out of control, which could explain maybe why one of your sons came to me not long after when he did the course and said, Granddad used to take us out on the farm and go crazy and told us, don't tell anyone. So Michael was a real character. I think if he hadn't have followed the career that he did, he probably would have joined us. And I often said to him, I've got a recruitment back in the boot of the car. It's not too late to join. He never took me up.
So just, you have to know that Dad actually was given a water bottle, a hat, a badge. Am I missing anything?
He would have got a couple of other things too, but they were the important things.
But he used to drive back and forth to Wagga to Mum's farm, Mum and Dad's farm, and he used to always keep it just in case he got booked. He said he'd wear his hat and his badge and show them the water bottle.
He was going to pull out the hat and show him the water bottle. I said, I don't think it'll help you, mate.
You never know. I'd like to thank all of you. I think it's amazing that we can actually get all of these people here tonight to give back to both the Illawarra and the Sutherland Shire and St George. I think it's amazing, and I thank you very much for being involved.
Can I just say one thing, and this is probably rude of me to intervene, but I've got to tell you, since I was involved and Madeline asked me to be part of this program, listening to these men, these medical experts, taught me a lot. In the short time that I would be there in a meeting, I realised as a member of the public that I thought medical research was all about science. It's not. Medical research is all about people. And it's all about us and you and your family and me and my family, we're beneficiaries of the work that these people do. So whatever we can put back into it pays tenfold to us, and we're so fortunate and blessed that there are people that do this. We just need to enable them by giving them the funds to be able to make this happen. So from us to you, gents, and to your profession, please keep going. We need you, and thank you so much for giving us the lives that we have.
Thank you very much, gentlemen.